We're going to start as always with a percentile right here. Male, female, multi-classed. 30. All right, we have another female character. You were talking to your coworkers about D&D today, one who's played and one who hasn't. The one who hasn't was a little interested. Hey, you're spreading the word, right, Dark Wolf? You're getting a gang of nerds together. Which, hey, you know what? If you start getting together playing, you can always come down to the store. By the way, since I know that you live locally, if you ever need table space, you can come down and play there. That shouldn't be a problem. But of course, if you have another hangout, or if you play at home or wherever you do, that's an option as well. Now, Dark Wolf, we got to stick with what we're talking about. It's Clark is in the Lurk gang. That's fine. What? I know you may be in the Lurk gang right now, Clark. But do you have a project that you're working on in the background? Oh, have you finished that 2,500 word essay? All right, so we have that. Race is going to be. Race is next here, but we gotta leave that other part open. We'll see who it's going to be. That's going to be a D10. Reroll a 10. We have a 4, so we have a human. Interesting. Oh, so we have 2 halflings and 2 humans and an elf. Now, odds or evens for which type of human? Also even. So this is going to be a standard human that's just going to get +1 to all of its ability scores. Alignment, 2D100s, 11 and 58. So she is going to be neutral good. Paper's done and submitted. Tonight I'm busy torturing myself with FIFA. Yes, the eternal struggle, Clark. Yeah, I know, Dark Wolf. It was close. We're one number away. Though, you know what? We can still give this character a lot of love and attention. Let's roll a percentile to see what level she is. 3 is level 1. All right, so what I'm going to do is I would like to treat that as... So I don't know if Shadzar is here, but I'm going to redo this sheet so that we started at least probably level 4, right? That way we're guaranteed 1 stat bump and or feat if one is available to us. So with that low roll, we'll put her at level 4. Let's see if she's going to take a feat or a stat bump with a percentile roll. 52. All right, she's just going to take the stat bump. That works. What's her background now? That's going to be a D13. 5. Another folk hero. Ooh. Now, of course, there's going to be some kind of a folk hero attached with that. If we look here, there are 10 different origins for folk heroes. Let's roll it. Origin number 6. Oh, Dark Wolf. Sad face would, just be like hexadecimal from Reboot and kind of like go, We have our 2 personality traits. 5 and a 3. Then 3d6 of an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. Good, we have some placeholders now. We need to determine what will be the role of our human. This nice big golden button. We haven't pressed this all week. Well, let's do so now. 6. A monk. And there are 3 different types of monks in the PHB. So this is monk number 3. Open hand. Oh, wave the shadow. Okay. Now let's get her stats. Height, weight, and her age. Humans start at 4'8". We're going to roll 2d10 and add that many inches to her. Oh, we're going to add 17 inches. Okay. So she's 6'1". We're going to take this same number of 17 and multiply it by 2d4. By 7. Okay, so it's 9, carry the 4. 100. Wait, 7 is 4. Yeah, okay. We're adding 119, so she is 229. There we go. Lastly, we have her age range, which is on a distribution curve. Let's roll percentile. 40. All right, she is an adult. Right here, right? Adult is number 3. See where it lines up? 26 to 40. Let's roll a 15-sided die and determine. 15. Okay, well then. There we go. Something for us to consider besides her background now is what is she going to do in this band? Right? We have a monk that's Way of Shadow, so think like a shadow dancer or a ninja, something along those lines. We may very well be able to give her an instrument of some kind. We'll see here. Because I think monks might offer an instrument, either an artisan tool or an instrument. So she can play with them, or do we want to have it be a 4-piece band and she does something else? All right. Away with you, random generator. We do not need you right now. We are going to begin with the background. What was she before she was a Way of the Shadow monk? Folk hero. Scrolling and flashing to F. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This isn't one without an illustration. Here are our 10 defining events that would have made us a folk hero. Number 6 is... I broke into a tyrant's castle and stole weapons to arm the people. Ro wants her to be proficient with sock puppets. Hi, Romonger. Welcome. How did the discussion last night go about folded steel versus high-quality forges or materials? Yeah, Dark Wolf, she could be a low-profile bodyguard, too. That's true. Right? Oh, you know what? This works really well. She broke into a tyrant's castle, so maybe, maybe that was what led her to follow the Way of the Shadow, Way of Shadow, as a monk. Hey, the randomness is working, right? She will be receiving some rustic hospitality. Because she comes from the ranks of common folk, the common folk are willing to step up for her. That's the synopsis. Let's look at her personality. They're Japanese, so very stubbornly. So the 1,000 folds is a superior method instead of just using high-quality materials in a forge. Five here. I'm confident. Ooh, spelling. In my own abilities and do what I can to instill confidence in others. There we go. As well, when I set my mind to something, I follow through no matter what gets in my way. She's a very inspirational ninja. Pretty much. Okay. I don't know, maybe there's a YouTube or something out there where we have a traditionally forged katana and then like a modern technique, or with maybe even with the same materials but just with a different forging ability. To compare their cutting or their durability or something along those lines. Ideals. Number 2. Fairness. No one should get preferential treatment before the law, and no one is above the law. That still works very well with neutral good. Her bond is 6. I wish my childhood sweetheart had come with me to pursue my destiny. She sounds kind of like an anime character. Would it be Shinobu from Ninja Nonsense? I don't know. For some reason, I'm kind of getting that vibe. I don't know. Is our character so far reminding you of anyone? Oh, and just to make you happy, got up at 4 a.m. to go to Shinobuyama Park to run. I've never ran through cherry blossoms before. Oh, cool, Romonger. That's cool of you to do. Thank you. Her flaw is number 3. The people who knew me when I was young know my shameful secret, so I can never go home. This is so very anime, right? Instead of communicating, I'm going to run away from my problems. The people who knew me when I was young know my shameful secret, so I can never go home again. We got to give her a shameful secret of some kind. Think. Very interesting character. Very well-rounded too. I mean, especially if we look at her dimensions here too. Like she's a big tough one. Human. I mean, we can go here. There's a lot of good fluff for you as a player or a DM. Though, if we are looking at what we get, we pop all our ability scores by 1. We do have a run speed of 30, which is going to give us a swim of 15 and a climb of 15. And we get common and one other. Nice and easy. Look at that. Classes? Oh, not Bard. Oh, I was so ready to click on Bard because we've made 4 of them so far. Let's go down to Monk. Level 4, so we're looking here. She's going to get a +2 proficiency bonus. Her martial arts are D4s. There we go. Let's see. We're going to get 4 key points. And we could drop those in here. Nice and easy. Reference on the first page. Raven. Oh, what did you find? Let me know. We do get no armor proficiencies. Tools. Well, you know what? Maybe this is where she gets her instrument, right? She was able to join the band somehow. Saving throws are strength and dex. Oh, I forgot the from the background. I just dropped that in. I forgot to put in the skills and everything. I created an NPC werewolf character that was supposed to be a major villain in the campaign and stalk the players. It was a higher level than the PCs, so the idea was that they would need to flee every encounter and take measures to avoid being followed. Having someone on their tail constantly tracking them that could and would actually kill them was supposed to inject a sense of urgency into the game. On the first encounter, the werewolf was shown methodically slaying a large group of town guards and a high-ranking paladin. The characters were around level 5 or so. The NPC was probably CR 12 and would scale as they leveled. They interrupted the combat, and the idea was that they would attempt to fight the werewolf, who didn't consider them a threat initially, and so wouldn't just murder the whole party. See it killing a high-level character and go, oh poop, we need to run from it while it slaughtered the rest of the guards. So at first they rushed in to help attack the werewolf, doing little damage because they don't have silver weapons, and I gave this particular NPC a regeneration ability, only stopped by silver. I have the werewolf attack one of the players with a secondary bite attack, which should have put them at fairly low health without killing them outright. That player pauses for a moment, then asks if he can try to block the attack with his hand. I'm not sure what he's getting at, but I hear him when I say he can do that with a DC 10 dexterity check, although it won't affect what kind of damage he takes. He succeeds and then asks if he can jam his hand into the werewolf's mouth. I say, sure, but he's probably going to bite it off, and you'll need a new hand. He says, even better. I describe the werewolf doing so. The rest of the combat continues until the player's turn, who seems undisturbed by the loss of a hand, and on his turn he says, I activate Qual's Feather token to make a tree. This token is a magic one-time use item that creates a 5-foot diameter, 40-foot high tree. It is a handy utility item that our play group was fond of. Previously, we'd used it to do things, from just making bridges and crossing walls to providing a druid with a way to use a particular spell in a plantless area that requires trees. It didn't seem to have much use here. I ask him where on the board he's activating it, and he points at the werewolf. I say that the most it's going to do is knock the werewolf prone, and he gets fairly easy save to prevent that. He smiles, no, it's in the werewolf. What, how? I was holding it when he ate my hand. Me and the rest of the party are kind of silent for a second. I'm trying to think of a valid reason why this won't work. I fail. The werewolf now has a 5-foot wide tree growing out of him. The fact that he has regeneration doesn't particularly help when little bits of him are plastered on walls 20 feet away. The entire party celebrated, and they got a reward from the town and an ally in the paladin who was supposed to be dead. I had to make a new NPC. Clever players are awesome. Isn't that? That is true. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Raven. That's a great story. That's really cool. Yeah, hey, if you find that stuff, Raven, you can share it during the stream. You can also post it on Discord too, or both. But it's fun seeing motivational stuff like that. Now, ultimately, I will say that, on the side of the DM, it's your call. Would you allow that to work, or would you look at your party and say, you know what, I was sufficiently surprised by your ingenuity, I'd let it work. Though, it's, oh, I'm sorry, you can also say no because it's, it's an item that he's not attached to anymore, or something along those lines. You as a DM are in control. I will say, as a DM, play the long game, right? The player lost the token, lost his hand. There's going to be a whole other stuff going on there. You're out a werewolf that you could spawn an infinite number of in the world. Did it tell a good story? Yeah. Was it showing ingenuity? Yeah. And would you allow for something like that next time? It's up to you. So that is also a good lesson in don't just say no, or no, that's dumb, or no, you're going to kill my monster. You're planning for the monster to go anyway, and this was an interesting way to have that happen. So that's what we learned a couple good lessons from the story too. Clark has never been more angry at a 4-1 win in FIFA. This game is ruining my life, but I'm addicted. What had you upset at a 4-1 win? Did you enjoy your prestidigitation? Plunder, I was lurking in the channel, but as I was working on a couple other things, I couldn't listen too well. Especially the music was a little bit loud, but because I had some other things going on, like I left it to try and listen to what was going on. I will say this, you all were having a lot of fun. I liked the way that that your DM has his channel set up. That is really cool. And maybe I can catch you the next time and actively watch it. I was trying to get that video up to promote our channel to Twitch for the affiliate program. So I kind of had one eye and whatever, or I had an ear over here and looking over here. Unless, did you post something, Plunder? Is it a post on Discord that I could go back and read? I mean, prestidigitation can make effects like that for sure. We get animal handling and survival. There we go. We get one type of artisan tools. All right. And vehicles land. Gameplay's so bad, literally 3 of my goals came because the AI decided to score goals on its own. Oh. Alright, so you felt that it wasn't your skill in FIFA, Clark? Because the game just sort of did it for you? Remember, use your spells wisely, and if it can be a distraction, well, it's all the more glorious. There are, especially, if you look in wizard schools and whatnot, there's a lot of spells that are seemingly, why would I ever take this? It doesn't deal damage. It's not a fireball or a lightning bolt. You can do a ton with environmental effects, and Plunder Loot is showing a very good result of that as well. Use your environment, read into a spell. And just as Raven had a creative use for the Qualls token, come up with creative ways. If you know how the fundamental aspects of your spell works, ask your DM, can I do this with it as well? And your DM might grant it to you, either on a one-time or a permanent basis, given the situation. Or they might have you call for some sort of like an Arcana roll to see if you can reformulate, redo the spell in your brain to adjust a couple parts of it. Divine Soul Sorcerer, Hobgoblin. Oh yeah, with the peel and stick horns. I remember you talking about that, and you posted a picture on Discord too. What now? Divine Soul. What is Divine Soul, Plunder Loot? Shovel, iron pot, common clothes, and a belt pouch with 10 gold. The game should be 1-1 right now. The guy didn't deserve to lose, and I've been on the other end of ridiculous gameplay so many times, so I know how they must have felt. Well, I'm glad that you have some empathy for the person that you're playing. And that does explain why you could be upset with a 4-1 win. Divine Soul is in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It allows a Sorc to have cleric spells. Ooh, cool. Quite a glorious archetype, if I say so myself. Yeah. Well, you know, there might come a time where I splash in some Xanathars, or I can create a randomizer, like a random character build for, you know, all the content, all the races and whatnot. At least all the official ones. Then I guess we could add in like a... Do you want to throw an Unearthed Arcana? I mean, that's kind of a Wild West. But at least all the official printed stuff. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that book, too. So, Mr. Plunderloot, what we'll probably do is when it comes out, we can just dedicate a show to it and go over it, read through it, and have fun. Oh, the Gith are going to be legal for play. Oh, very interesting. Okay, there we go. We got our background stuff. Now we can pop back down here to classes, go back to Monk, and get the rest of what we have coming to us. Which, by the way, you might have seen up here. I did fill in that we have 4d8 as our hit dice, and we've used 0, and she's not multi-class, so we filled in zeros over here. Choose 2 from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Well, fairness. She wishes her childhood sweetheart had come with her to pursue her destiny. She's confident in her own abilities and do what she can to instill confidence in others. When I set my mind to something, I follow through no matter what gets in my way. And she has some kind of a shameful secret that she can never go back home again. I almost want to say, like, acrobatics and athletics seem to make sense for her in my mind, just as I'm picturing her, right? 6'1", 229 pounds. She's a shadow dancer / ninja, a way of shadow monk. I'm 9-0 on the day. You should realistically be 7-2. This game doesn't reward skill. Does that game also suffer from loot box syndrome, like where, you know, you can the game will reward people for paying more into it or something, or is it one of those situations also? I prefer the Gith Yankee personally, but I don't know until official stats are out. Yep, so our 5th member of the band, Plunderloot, is a Way of Shadow monk. And we need to find out, you know, well, she can play an instrument. She gets that for being a monk. So she can be in the band if we want a 5-piece band, or if we want a 4-piece band, and maybe she, I don't know, maybe she fills in for someone on occasion. What is her role in the band? Either way. Literally matched a pro player and won 2-1 in extra time after his goalie dove the wrong way on my first and only shot in regulation time. Well, is that something that would have been in the player's control, or is that just a random number generation of blocking that the computer uses? She plays the cowbell. Dink, 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 dink. If she sets her mind to something, she follows through. I just see her as, like, you know, she's like a big girl. She's confident. She's wish my childhood sweetheart. And she got her, by the way, her folk hero background 6 is she broke into a tyrant's castle and stole weapons to give to the commoners. Now, we can take that as a concept. It doesn't have to be the literal interpretation. But that very well could have set her on her way to the Way of Shadow. And that's also why I'm thinking, too, right? If we give her athletics and acrobatics, she's just going to be a really physical person. Although insight might work as well. No one should get preferential treatment before the law, and no one is above the law. And insight might help her look into that some. It is 100% pay to win. I've put $800 in it throughout the year. Oh my gosh. Oh, and it's all AI. Oh, and it jumped out of the way too. Oh boy. It's well, that's quite an investment, Clark. And I mean, I hope that you're still extracting some kind of joy out of it. Plunder loot is noping out of that. He nopes out of there. Hmm. Athletics, acrobatics, or one of these in insight. That seems to be jumping out at me. Do any of you out there who've been following along? Do you have a recommendation? How are you envisioning our fifth band member here? I justify it's only one of two games that you actually play. However, look, we all have expenses on certain lifestyles or interests or hobbies or games. So if you're having fun with it, it's just it goes into the realm of insanity if you absolutely hate this game and you're continually destroying controllers and you still pump money into it, because then you're enabling companies to continue to make games that are of that same quality or tier, because there are people who are playing it and paying into it. But if you're drawing enjoyment from it, if you can play with your friends, if it's worth every penny you invest into it, treat it like a hobby. We'll give her insight in athletics. I mean, if you're enjoying it, I'm not going to say don't. Yeah. Oh, I get you, plunder loot. A short sword or any simple weapon. Is there a fun simple weapon we could give her? Any simple. It could even be something like it could be a short bow or a light crossbow. We could give her a sling. That could be interesting. I had a character who used a sling, and it was so she wore the string on her, or the sling on her, right? And so it almost looked like how you might have archers that have a breast guard, right? Because you have the twanging the twanging rope. So she wore the string for ease of access, and she called it her over-the-shoulder boulder holder, because all she had to do was go whip, and it would untie the knot of the sling, and then she could sleeve a rock into it and whip it. Yeah, plunder. We get our hobbies, we get our interests. We could give her a quarterstaff. That could be interesting. A spear. Oh, and a spear's versatile too. Maybe we could make her a spear fighter. A mace so she could bonk people. When the gameplay isn't in the toilet, it's the most fun I've ever had with FIFA, but the gameplay is so hit and miss, and no one knows why, because the EA servers should be more than strong enough to handle it. Hmm. Is EA at least, is this brought up in a forum or something? Is EA saying we're aware it's an ongoing situation, or are they at least throwing you a bone that way, Clark? I'll give her a spear. There we go. That'll be interesting. The race is going to confer no benefits here. Her class will give her key use. Whoop. There we go. Flurry of blows for an extra attack, patient defense, which allows you to take a dodge action as a bonus action, or step of the wind, which for a key you can disengage or dash. We will get unarmored movement. Let's see, at level 4, we get an extra 10 feet. So this goes to 40, 20, and 20. We will get our Monastic Tradition, and we will also get Deflect Missiles and Slow Fall. All as a monk. We're just shy of our extra attack. Next up, we are going to look at our Monastic Traditions, Way of Shadow. When we choose this tradition at 3rd level, we can use Key to duplicate the effects of certain spells. As an action, you can spend 2 key points to cast Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without Trace, Silence, or Silence without providing any material components. We also know the Minor Illusion cantrip. Alright, so that's what we're getting straight up here. We'll just type in Shadow Arts. There we go. Nice and easy. EA isn't even acknowledging there's an issue. Is this despite, Clark, that there's an outcry from the community? Or what? If I were to look it up on YouTube, there's probably a bunch of people showing, some shoddy programming work, or some AI derps or something like that. All right. Dexterity and Wisdom are important for a monk. So I can make the argument that we can put in our 2 high scores in Dex and Wisdom. Though if we want to do something else, for instance, how we made Liara here, she is a bard by class, but look at this. We gave her a 10 charisma. And if you were to look at her, coming at you on a battlefield, sword and board, 18 AC, look at her strength and her constitution, mass. She has hit points for days. She is swole with HP. You're quitting for the night, 9-0 day. 1 is great, another 31 more games to play this weekend. Con, yeah, I'm thinking Con Plunder Loot because, look, she's a healthy girl that we have going on here. If not con, then strength. 6'1", 229, and she's this she's there. She's a gentle giant. Well, maybe not so gentle as she's beating you. Tanky vibe, you're thinking? Monks can tank. It's a lot of avoidance tanking, but they can do it. People with millions of subs on YouTube have been calling them out on gameplay since last year, and not a word from the company. Well, then you got to vote with your wallet. If you say, look, no more. The EA, if you don't care about this, if you're not addressing it, these are known issues, then I'm not going to play anymore. Which hurts, right? Because what's your alternative? Like Mario Soccer? when in fact, like, you love the brand of FIFA, you love the sport, but the way that the production company is presenting it to you is subpar. Like, that's kind of like the twist of the dagger in the heart. You know, why you do this, EA? I do think charisma should be her dump stat, Plunder Loot. I agree with that. That, or we could make intelligence her. We can make intelligence her dump stat. But if we do 15, 14, 13, 12. So do we want to make her then, let's see, if she feels ashamed at something she did before, she's confident in her abilities to instill confidence with others, so maybe her charisma should be just flat out. When she sets her mind to something, she follows through. Fairness, no one should get preferential treatment. I wish my childhood sweetheart had come with me to pursue my destiny. And people who knew me when I was young know my shameful secret, so I can never go home again. I kind of like giving her charisma 10, and we'll make her intelligence 8. Now, after the human, the straight up human bumps, this is 13, 16, 14, 9, 15, and 11. And we get 1 ASI, or ability score improvement, that is not a feat. So we could even do something like we could raise her dex straight up. Though if we raise her wisdom, it'll be kind of the same for defensive abilities as raising her dex. Which means that we can do something like... if we wanted to put 1 in wisdom, right, and bring that to 16, we could dump the other 1 in intelligence to either just make it straight up, or we could give her a little bit more charisma or strength. Maybe the strength would work out well. So there's her ASI. And of course, if you think differently, let me know, and we can always go back and adjust it. Yeah, wisdom and strength. Got there, Plunder Loot. Clark says, the thing is that whole not going to play the game already happened on a massive scale. What did EA do? Released a promo where loot boxes were half priced and made more money than they did at any other point this year. Oh my gosh. Hive mind, Plunder Loot. My mind to your mind. All right, now that we have these numbers, we can go in and add a couple things. Yeah. You know, so we have similar ideas, and of course, our minds do want to drift to, oh, what's the best for her class? And I even fight that as we do this show on a nightly basis. Though I do like standing back and trying to at least say, well, okay, you know, we don't need to be contrived about it, but how can we challenge ourselves? Or how can we make her stand out as a character in some way by not just doing the expected, or like the super expected? In this case, I think we still built her. She makes sense. I don't feel like we sold out or anything. And hey, all of you out there, she has some kind of a shameful thing that happened in the past. I don't know what that is. And if you do, feel free to think it up and throw it out there. We're just going to copy and paste this -1. Feels so weird without a bard having to come back and do this a second time. Whoops. That should be a 0. 0, 0, 0, and 0. I'm just so frustrated that a game I truly love and grew up playing has become so garbage. Because it's because... Alright, it's not a single silver bullet solution or a diagnosis, but many games that are considered to be, AAA titles or these perennial titles like Madden and FIFA and all this have been monetized so that it is a money generating game for the company, because there's going to be people who play it no matter what. Now, does that mean that they don't put effort into scanning the players' faces or whatnot? Not at all. They put in that effort. But if something is working, it's a lot easier to just almost make it a subscription-based service or a monetized service or a loot box-based service. And so the game isn't about the game. The game is about money for the company and monetizing you and, offering you further purchases, because then you say, oh, geez, I've spent $20 extra on this $60 game that comes out every year, or whatever, unless they actually have made it a subscription. And you're like, oh, I've paid $80? I don't want to just give it up because that's $80. And then you say, oh man, I've just spent $20 more on loot boxes. I paid $100 for this game. I don't really like it, but I don't want to lose $100. I'd rather get something for it. And it's kind of a like a Stockholm syndrome. I like to think that EA knows about the issue and is a hard problem to fix, but who knows? Only the programmers and the decision makers sitting around the boardroom. Clark. To be a fly on the wall, right? Hey, Eltrion, welcome. Yes, I am doing well. Clark has had an amazingly wonderful and therefore frustrating evening so far. Although he's doing a good job of explaining why it's frustrating for him. And by the way, Eltrion, if you just popped in here, our 5th member of the band is a monk, a Way of Shadow monk. Which, hey, interestingly enough, being a monk, you do get an instrument. So she can participate in that regard, even if it's as a backup or something along those lines. Though, if you want to think of another role for her to take, Dark Wolf said, hey, maybe she's sort of like, she goes in the crowd and keeps things like, calm, or if there's something going to happen. She's a big girl. Look at this. So she could arm wrestle a Dragonborn here. Also, if we look at her personality, Eltrion, here we go. Bada boom. I was like a couple sort of like even anime stereotypes came to mind. She somewhat reminded me of Shinobu from Ninja Nonsense, and I think that there's others that could fall into this. You want to come up and say hi to people? You want to come up? There you go. Oh, Raven's going to want to see you. There we go. Eltran says, head of... Hey, sir. Yes, I did. I certainly got a shave and a haircut. It was more than 2 bits, though. I'll tell you that. Although you wouldn't know it, I actually my beard has expanded and it's very tabby in color, I guess. Oh, look at that face, Clark. Look at this face, and you'll feel so much better tonight. That something so wonderful and pure exists. You had seasons where the gameplay's been fantastic, finished top 100 globally. Oh, congrats on that. And other seasons give me terrible gameplay, and I have to hope RNG is on my side. Le kitty. And Dark Wolf. Hello, pretty kitty. Oh, yes, so pure and innocent to the world. He is beyond our mortal loot boxes and character generation. He's above all of this stuff. Work and school. Maybe the monk is a solo artist of some kind, since she can have an instrument, and maybe they're touring together. That's a possibility too, right? She's filling the featuring slot. Your cat. Clark is not having a good night. Can you all just send Clark some love, please? Can you send Clark some hearts or something? Like, I don't know if you have a fun heart or like a hype or some sort of an energetic, or like, hey, stay in there. Feels good, man. You know what, Clark? You can come in here. You can vent. You can put your feet up so your cat doesn't eat your toes, and you are one with the positivity. Being able to cast silence would be a very interesting thing to do in a band. Eltron. Oh, nice. A big old D20. Have a free crit for when you next need it. Look at that. So, Eltron is granting you... Eltron is granting you a roll here. He's giving you some bardic inspiration, Clark. So for the positivity, Clark or Eltron, because you two are kind of teaming up here in that regard. The next time either of you take if you want to go into a plains, forest, dungeon, or tomb, I will, even no matter what it tells you, roll for advantage. All right, because you two are helping each other up, but you both have to run the same. You have to run the same adventure, but I will let you both roll at advantage, and if you win, you'll get the normal points. But Clark's getting a pick me up from Eltron, and if you two want to coordinate, that's perfectly fine. Civil Hermit saying something like a choreographer for backup dancers is where my mind is thinking about martial artists in a music band. Tycho says bards. Yes. Bards, indeed. 4 bards and a monk. Let's see. 8 plus 3 plus 2. There we go. $13 plus 5. That means that we can add in 3 and 3. We did give her a spear as her weapon. Initiative's going to be at a plus 3. 3 and 3, so she is rolling with a 16 AC. Passive perception is 10 plus 3 is 13. There we go. Dark Wolf likes Hermit's idea, so she's a dancer, or she's like the head dancer that maybe can play an instrument if needed, or something along those lines. We can do something like that, I think. Let's see. If that's the case too, maybe then, just maybe, we give her Weaver's tools, And so she's also the costume designer. Oh, you want to give her a tambourine, Dark Wolf? Yo, we talked about a tambourine last night when we were looking at the halflings. Clark says, at least the Penguins won tonight and are about to try and defend their back-to-back titles. Well, I hope that your local sports ball or ball equivalent team is victorious against the rival municipal team by scoring more or less than points that are necessary as per the game. Alright, so we want to give her proficiency in the tambourine. Otherwise, she could do castanets, right? Our little castanistas. Maracas. Maybe her homeland, they use tattoos as a rite of passage to adulthood, and she refuses to take the markings, and that's her shameful secret. That could be, right? She's a pure waifu. She has not been taking the marks of her clan. That could very well be plunder loot. It doesn't even have to be something like horrible like I have a horrible injury, or like I wet the bed, or like I got caught kissing farmer, or like the pastor's son or something. And now I can never go back, right? It's the anime trope of, I can never get married now. Doesn't have to, it could even be something along those lines. That's a cool suggestion. All right, so we can give her a tambourine, and for her artisan tools, maybe a weaver's tools, because she does the costuming and the design for the band. And so we can do that. Again, unless you wanted to give her castanets or maracas or something. She could do a little salsa dance, a little shimmy, shimmy, shake. Oh no, I'm 25. I'm too old to get married. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm 25. No one will ever marry me. 0 fly speed. Oh, she is a medium-sized human. She can have a name now, by the way. We've statted her up. She has a lot of things going for her here. The tables have turned, I see. You guys talking about anime makes as much sense to me as when I talk about sports. Feels good, man. Yes, that's true. For all you sports ball people out there. The nerds are gonna rule now. I'm such a nerd, I don't even watch sports anime. Proficiency is 3 plus 2 plus 5 to hit. Plus 5 to hit. And by the way, the minor illusion can create up to 3 other instruments or voices too if necessary. Well, this is looking pretty good. By the way, for reference, these are not all of the musical instruments that exist in the world of D&D, though if you get something that is similar to them, then you could use it as a price point, perhaps. Oh, are you talking about Revy Two Hands Plunder Loot? Best tactical waifu. Yep, from the Discord. I don't necessarily, if we want to change the name a little bit, because I don't want to make her the anime character itself, because that's something sometimes we can fall into is we'll name a character after someone from a book, an anime, a movie, or something we really like, and they'll never be that character, but we can take a step to the side. Oh, don't worry, Clark. Stay pure and innocent. Do not walk down this path of degeneracy and madness. That is anime. Oh, last name's okay. I know her as Revy, but I don't know. I don't know. I forget her last name in the in Black Lagoon. There's an International Otaku Day. Oh boy, do we get party hats or something? Where do we sign up, Plunder Loot? Oh, she has 0 dark vision because she's a Yumi. However, she does get that as a spell and only costs 2 key points. 2 points. Your inner yandere is showing. Oh dear. Oh, we got to calculate her hit points. She gets 8 at level 1. And then we're going to add in, right, she has 3 more levels on top of that, times half plus 1. So that's 5. Then she's going to get all 4 levels of her con modifier. So 8 plus 15. 8, 15. So 16 plus 15 is 31. Whoops. There we go. She is a tough cookie for sure. She will break you. Eltreon, yes, you are correct. Eltreon, you must also stay pure. Do not travel down this path of Animu and Monger. You will corrupt your very soul. I've completely confused the sports ball people. The nerds are rising up. We shall inherit the earth. Just don't hurt us. Cool. All right. We have a char actor. I will allow you to this is its own language. You know, Clark, you may have history and French under wraps, but you're entering into a whole new language and culture. I'm going to take a 10-minute break so I can finish up a couple of the things I was doing before I came live. And in fact, I might order a pizza. Do I want to do that? Do I want to order a pizza? Do I want like a sub instead? And Whitefire got me thinking last night with choices. Yeah. Well, it's a meme itself to call anime as Chinese cartoons. Tycho, get a pizza sub. I'll see who's open at this hour, and then if they have something like that. But if they deliver, it'll be in the middle of the stream. Or I could just run out to Taco Bell because that's like 5 minutes away. Turn this into social eating, right? We're already like, what is this stream? Is this D&D? Is it talk show? Is it IRL? Is it creative? Well, now let's throw in some social eating and oh, snap, Dark Wolf. Plunderloot's calling you out. I'm as confused right now as when the NHL has to make a decision on goalie interference. Not like this. And oh, and by the way, when I do get back from break, either way, we will delve a bit into random dungeon generation through the Dungeon Master's Guide. Oh boy! Oh, she's a fan. Plunder Loot's sending out the psychic signals and resonating with people here. Well, Plunder Loot, you better stay away from her husbando because he is only for her. And Sesshamar was the better wolf demon. That's probably not even a controversial statement. You'll probably find a lot of agreement there. Dog demon. All right, well, I'm going to make a decision about getting some food because I had a late start to my day and then I scrambled for I scrambled to get that video up to help promote us to Twitch, and he is mine. So you don't have to fight Kitty over him, do you, Dark Wolf? I vaguely remember the name Inuyasha from when I was like 8 and watched cartoon channels at night. But now Clark is above such matters. Okay, hey, if you all then like you have your husbando, she has hers, then that's less stress, right? The actual wolf demon in the show. All right, I'm gonna throw on my short rest, and I'll be about 10 minutes as I place this order and get some things brought up, so that we can go over random dungeon generation. And for Dark Wolf, for you, this could be something for you to learn and look through as you're studying the books and whatnot on your own adventure. And if you out there have gone through some similar process as a DM or a PC, you can always throw your opinions out there, your experiences. You can share some wit and wisdom. All right, Bink, I will be back in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That is once I find the appropriate music. Here we go.